Hey gang, welcome to part 3. So I've got the shells all taped off. You want to tape all the holes. You don't want any paint getting through these holes and getting inside the shells in any way. Or at least I don't. I don't want paint inside the shells. So you want to tape off the edge. See how I did? Nice and straight along the edge. Tape off your edge and all of the holes inside. So I gave this 4 coats of primer. And I messed up. And I'll tell you what I did wrong was I sanded it. I sanded down the shells with the palm sander before I painted it, which was good. That's the thing to do. You can use a palm sander to sand down the bare wood. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Then I went ahead and I gave it a coat of paint. After that dried, I gave it the second coat of paint. And then when that dried, I took the palm sander to it and I started sanding these shells. That was the wrong thing to do. When you start painting, you do not want to use a palm sander. You want to sand by hand. Very lightly. This sandpaper here, 220. By hand. So you fold up the sandpaper into quarters. You want to sand by hand lightly in between each coat. So once I learned my mistake and I started screwing up the primer, it was actually like coming off. I stopped and I sanded it by hand. And then I gave it a coat and then I let it dry for a couple of days. Then when I came back to it, I sanded it again and it came out beautiful, really nice. This shell is very smooth, and I was able to fix some of my mistakes. You can't see it anymore. It was starting to come up in some areas, but I fixed it. So yeah, again, what you want to do is you want to do 1 coat at a time, let it dry overnight, and then the next day you come back and you get a brand new piece of sandpaper and you lightly sand the shells. Then you want to take a wet paper towel and wipe off the shells. And then when they dry, you actually want to take your hand and wipe the shells down again to make sure that there's nothing on them. Then you go ahead and give it another coat. 1 can was actually enough to paint all 3 shells. So I did 4 coats of primer on these. And I'm going to do 4 coats of paint. Like I said, sanding in between each coat. So it should look good when I'm done. Let's see. I got a gig next weekend, so I'm actually going to get these done in time. Today's Tuesday. I've got 4 coats. So I'll do the last coat on Friday. I'm going to let it sit all weekend to dry. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I will do part 4, showing you what they look like after they've been painted. So get ready for that. This has been fun. It's been pretty easy. This has been pretty easy to do, gang. This is not hard to do. When you use spray paint, you just want to make sure that you shake it up really good. Give it a few sprays to clean out the hose before you start to paint, And when you paint, just do it the right way, you know. I'm not going to explain to you my technique, but paint instead of just slop it on. So that's it, gang. I'm going to get to sanding these down, and I'm going to do a coat of satin dark walnut. Gonna look like that. So see you in the new video.